Joy was 32, her face radiant with the promise of twins, a dream she and her husband, Roberto, had nurtured through years of whispered hopes. The ultrasound room buzzed with quiet anticipation as the technician slid the wand across her belly, but the air shifted when the gynecologist entered, his brow furrowed, and his voice carried a weight Joy couldn't place. "One of the babies. It's not like a regular baby," he said, eyes darting to the screen. Joy's breath caught. What does that even mean, she thought, her fingers tightening around Roberto's hand. The doctor's vagueness gnawed at her, a splinter of dread lodging deep. Their joy unraveled in that sterile moment, replaced by a question neither could voice. What's wrong with our child? The pregnancy was a tightrope walk. Joy's body strained under the weight of two lives, and her doctor, a wiry man with kind but tired eyes, urged her to rest. "Take it easy, Joy. We're monitoring you closely." She nodded, but fear coiled in her chest. She and Roberto had already named their daughters, Amanda, the stronger one, and Emily, the smaller, more fragile twin. At night, they pored over medical websites, searching for answers the doctor wouldn't give. Conjoined twins flickered in their minds, a possibility too terrifying to say aloud. Joy traced her swollen belly, whispering prayers for healthy, happy girls, though a quiet voice warned her she was asking for too much. Grace, Joy's mother, became their anchor. A woman of unyielding warmth, she arrived with casseroles and gentle reassurances. "All children are God's gift, Joy," she said, cradling her daughter's hands. "They come through us so we can care for them." Joy wanted to believe her, but the doctor's words echoed louder than Grace's faith. Friends rallied too, their voices a chorus of encouragement. "They'll be beautiful. Everything will be okay." Yet Joy saw the flicker of doubt in their eyes, mirroring her own. The delivery day crept closer, a storm cloud on the horizon. Joy's body ached, her nerves frayed from months of uncertainty. The hospital room hummed with tension as labor began. Roberto stood by her side, his dark eyes wide with a mix of pride and terror. "You're so strong, mi amor," he murmured, brushing sweat from her brow. Hours blurred into a haze of pain and effort. Amanda emerged first, a robust cry splitting the air, her chubby cheeks flushed with life. Joy's heart swelled. Then came Emily, tiny and silent, her pale skin almost translucent. Joy gasped, a sob catching in her throat. They were conjoined at the abdomen, a fragile seam of flesh binding them together. The doctor's cryptic warning crystallized into this stark reality. "They're beautiful," Roberto whispered, but his voice trembled. Joy stared at her daughters, overwhelmed. Amanda squirmed with newborn vigor, while Emily lay still, her breaths shallow. "How do I care for them?" Joy wondered, her hands hovering over their shared body. The doctor explained the situation. Vital organs intertwined, one reproductive system, a single functioning kidney each. Separating them was possible but perilous, a surgery that might save one at the cost of the other. "We should wait until they're older," he advised. "Their bodies need time." Joy nodded numbly, but the future loomed like a shadow. The early months were a delicate dance. Amanda thrived, her giggles filling their small apartment, while Emily required constant care, tubes and monitors a permanent fixture. Joy grew adept at managing their needs, her hands steady despite the ache in her heart. Roberto threw himself into fatherhood, his protective instincts fierce. "Look at them, Joy," he'd say, cradling the twins. "They're fighters." Grace was ever present, cooing over the girls and easing Joy's burden. Yet Joy sensed something unspoken in her mother's lingering glances, as if Grace were shielding her from a truth too heavy to bear. Visitors came, their reactions a kaleidoscope of awe and unease. "They're incredible," some said, while others whispered behind cupped hands. Joy's best friend Lisa froze when she saw the twins, her smile faltering. "They're unique," she managed, avoiding Emily's fragile frame. Joy's chest tightened. "Do they see monsters?" she wondered, retreating into herself. Roberto bristled at the stares, his pride warring with frustration. "They're our daughters," he snapped once, silencing a room. Together, they leaned on each other, their love a lifeline through the endless doctor's visits and sleepless nights. As the twins neared 2 years old, the question of surgery loomed larger. Amanda's vitality contrasted sharply with Emily's frailty. Doctors warned that Emily's dependence was straining her sister. Their joining keeps them alive, but it's also killing them, one specialist said, his tone clinical yet compassionate. The procedure carried a 50-50 chance of survival, a coin toss Joy couldn't bear to imagine. Roberto squeezed her hand. "We have to try, Joy. For both of them." She nodded, tears spilling. They'd saved every penny, even launched a crowdfunding page, but the funds fell short. The tension seeped into their marriage, silences growing heavy between them. The day arrived, February 28, 2025. Amanda and Emily, now 22 months, were wheeled into the operating room, their tiny hands clasped. Joy and Roberto waited outside, the 16-hour surgery stretching into an eternity. She paced, clutching a rosary Grace had pressed into her palm. "Please, let them be okay," she whispered. Roberto sat rigid, staring at the floor. "We're doing the right thing," he said, more to himself than her. The clock ticked mercilessly. Finally, the lead surgeon emerged, his scrubs rumpled, eyes red-rimmed. A weak smile flickered, then faded. Joy leapt up, her voice shrill. "Are they okay? Is Emily—" The doctor raised a hand, his shoulders slumping. "We separated them successfully," he began, voice cracking. "Amanda's stable, but Emily, her body couldn't handle it. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Morales. We did everything we could." He hung his head, tears slipping free. Joy's world tilted. Roberto pulled her close, his own sobs muffled against her hair. Emily was gone. Minutes after the surgery, her fragile light snuffed out. The funeral was a blur of gray skies and hushed voices. Friends and family gathered, their grief a quiet tide. Emily's tiny casket rested beside a photo of her and Amanda, a moment of unity frozen in time. Joy clung to Roberto, her mind replaying every what if. Could we have waited? Should we have stopped? Amanda, now alone, slept in Grace's arms, oblivious to the void her sister left. "She touched us all," Grace murmured, kissing the baby's forehead. Joy nodded, hollowed out by loss. Weeks bled into months. Amanda flourished, her laughter a bittersweet balm. Doctors marveled at her resilience, though Joy and Roberto watched her with fragile hope, fearing hidden scars from her conjoined past. They poured their love into her, capturing every milestone in photos, smiles they refused to let slip away. "She's asking about Emily," Joy said one night, her voice soft. Roberto nodded. "We'll tell her the truth. She deserves that." They sat Amanda down, her wide eyes solemn as they spoke of her twin, a sister she'd never know but would always carry. Joy wrestled with guilt in the quiet hours. Did I fail them? She wondered, tears staining her pillow. Roberto held her through those nights, his strength unwavering. "We gave them everything, Joy. Emily's at peace, and Amanda's our miracle." Slowly, she began to see it. Her daughters weren't defined by their condition, but by the love they'd inspired. Amanda's curiosity and spirit mirrored Roberto's, while her quiet moments echoed Emily's gentleness. One evening, as Amanda giggled in Grace's lap, Joy felt a shift. The pain lingered, a permanent thread in her tapestry, but so did gratitude. She looked at Roberto, his tired smile mirroring hers, and knew they'd weathered the storm together. Amanda reached for her, tiny arms outstretched, and Joy scooped her up, breathing in the warmth of life. Emily's absence ached, but Amanda's presence anchored them. They were a family, scarred, yes, but whole in their own way.